Hello everybody, welcome to Pittsburgh. This is the ProjectFlightSim Pittsburgh project. I just want to give a little update on some things I'm working on. Probably the newest one is trying to add an animated beacon light to the roof of the terminal building. There are some limitations to the sim as far as getting like a very bright directional light like on the stock one. I also can't remove this, so it's unfortunately being hidden behind the crane model. Let me change the time. Yeah, so I had to kind of disguise it next to the crane, add some construction to the terminal, which is not unrealistic. There is currently construction at the terminal. Trying to create more of an interior space on most of the terminal. This is, if you're familiar with the airport, the air mall, the sky mall area. So I'm working on the glass texturing for that. Small details here and there. I've added interiors to the terminal wings. The problem with this is it's not super detailed. Also, the glass needs changed up a little bit, but it's not super detailed. It's pretty much just a copy and paste of the same like array of seats. However, I'm going to add like blocks of like restrooms and little stores to kind of break up the monotony of how many chairs there are. There's also little differences here because it's the end of the terminal wing. Really wanted to add an interior, but didn't know how detailed to get with it. So definitely the main interior space is going to be detailed. I'm not too sure about these upper areas. I think they might just remain how they are. Other than that, just working out details here and there, small stuff. I'm not very good at texturing, which unfortunately is not a great thing for a modeler, but I'm definitely working on it to try to get it more detailed. Also redid a lot of buildings, so if we go over this way, we have the tower. I just recently tried to redo some of the tower. As far as I was wasting a lot of tries on these little rings here, so I completely remodeled them to limit the amount of tries, added these little glass areas to be more realistic, and then added an interior. I'm definitely going to have to work on the glass in here, but yeah, there is an interior now in here with screens, various little details. Once this is complete, you'll be able to see, you know, the rest of the airport. Be a lot more realistic, somewhere you can actually like put your drone camera and look at the rest of the airport. It's not really immersion building, I guess it is in a way, but it's just a little detail. The rest of this, needless to say, is a little rough. I think it's fine because these aren't main details, they're stuff that you just taxi pass. So I may or may not go into more detail with them, but it's something I was thinking of. The fire station was something that was recently updated, so I redid the doors. I still have to work on glass texturing because obviously I'm having a little bit of an issue with that, but you know, I did some small details. Every time I figure something out and it adds a little bit more skills to my skill set, I'll come back and redo some stuff, because the more you learn, the quicker things go, and then you can always come back to these older projects and, you know, add details. This is probably one of the oldest buildings, so it might be something I'll consider going over a little bit. I think it still turned out pretty good though. The rest of the airport is pretty fine, in my opinion. It's definitely usable now. It used to not be, but figured out a way to make it essentially, you know, 99% to 95% usable. The stuff over here I didn't want to get too in depth with because that's a lot of small buildings that I have to model, which maybe when I'm finished with the main modeling of the airport. We have the Air Force Base here. Don't really plan on changing much over here either because it's, again, something you might just taxi past. It's not something extremely important. But it is detailed enough to give you a little bit more immersion than just the stock buildings, because if you've been here in the default, it's pretty lacking. Also have some C-130s. It's now a C-17 base. The wig bags I think are fine. I probably won't update them. They seem to work pretty well. I think they're a really good improvement, because there's not many airports that offer that, and it was also my first animated project on here. On the other side of the runway we have the Air Force National Guard base with some KC-135s. Not much to say about this area. I might update it. I mean, we're going down the list of things that will probably take precedent and probably won't. So this will be one area that might not get updated. But I think it's fine because it's a huge upgrade. And there's still some good details. It's definitely way more detailed than it was stock. But that can always be revisited. I'm going to go back to the terminal, because I think another update that I'm going to do, also I'm not sure exactly how to fix this, because on the default some of these signs are backwards. I tried a few ways of fixing that, so that'll be something I'll have to consider a fix for. Yeah, just showing that each little area has a interior now, so that'll be a big upgrade. I am planning, once I finish the terminal, to go to the Landside and redoing all of this, so it looks a lot more closely related to the arches, like that type of architecture. So that'll be all in this area. There'll be, like, that's where you get your tickets and stuff. You check in. This is the parking lot, which is actually, let me think about this for a second. This is the parking lot for short term. I don't know why it's a 6-7 story building, but that's definitely not that big in real life. It's pretty small. That's definitely gonna need some improvement. This is a overhead walkway which goes over the road, and it takes you on like a little conveyor belt system to the parking areas over here. So that is definitely gonna need updated. And then this is a pretty large hotel which appears as hangars on the default scenery, so that's inaccurate as well. So that's some little updates that I'll work on for the next iteration. Definitely want to focus on the interior of the terminal for now, because I think that's a pretty interesting thing to have detailed. You know, when you land here and you're taxiing to the gate, you know, everything from the point you touch down to the point of you getting to the gate is what I want to have, like, pretty accurately detailed. So getting this done and releasing it instead of it just being black windows like some of the other areas, like these are just black windows, which is fine because it's nothing that you're going to be too close to that you're really going to care about. But I also wanted to make this interior because I think having the arches was a very complex thing I modeled, and I'd like to have it accompanied by some more detail. I think that's just a little Easter egg type deal. But yeah, anything from the runway to the terminal I want detailed to the best of my ability. The tower is something I'd like people to just go check out and, you know, go inside it and see what it looks like. Yeah, so that's pretty much the update. Today is the 23rd of January. I am starting flight school soon, so I might not have a lot of time to work on this project, but a lot of people have thought this project is dead. I want to show it's not. I'm still working on it. Among other things going on in my life, this is a 2-year-long endeavor, and it's a big project, so I hope you guys like the update, and I will update you all soon.